Does it go live on Facebook too, or no? Just on the podcast?
Not yet. I'm gonna share it live right now. Are you ready?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Hello.
Okay.
Real page.
Okay. I think we're getting there. Okay, I'm gonna say. All right. It's looking live.
Live.
Okay.
If we can.
Okay. I think we're. Do you see us?
Yep.
Okay. Welcome everyone, along with our dear Huna Flash, and we're excited. We're just gonna dive right in. Huna Flash has so much insight, wisdom, and knowledge to share on numerous topics with us. With any insight he has to share on understanding the children of today, the children who have chosen to be born in this unique, amazing time of shift. Because my work in the world is really supporting raise kids to be stepping into their purpose, their mission, whatever it is they're here for, to raise them to begin their life stepping into that. So super excited to welcome you here, Huna Flash. Thank you.
Hi. Hi everyone. Hello, dear ones and special beings walking the planet.
Yeah.
Thank
Tell
you.
us how you're from.
Sorry, I missed that.
Tell us where you're at the moment on planet Earth.
Oh, I'm in my skin. I'm definitely in my skin. Well, I'm at home right now. I live in the Yucatan Peninsula. I live by the Mayan pyramids and by the goddess island, Cozumel. The town I live in is Playa del Carmen. So I'm in old Mexico. Well, I don't know if any of you have been here. It's really sunny and beautiful right now. So if you want to get out and get out of the house and get out and start moving around, you're quite welcome to fly over here. Some of the best beaches in the world is right here, and the incredible sand is very fine and very pure white, but very, very, very clear white sand. And to me, this is another part of Lemuria too. It's another reason why I'm here. So to me, I'm actually in Lemuria.
Mm-hmm.
My skin is here in old Mexico. I'm connected to Fourth Lemuria. This is why I'm here. I'm connected to the reason why I came here.
Yeah. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Right.
I for many years have been working to converge all of this distorted light, let's say, and bring distorted light back into undistorted light. And for me, in my mission, in the way that was presented, was how I walk the planet. The walk that I do on the planet is to go and pick up the pieces and pick up our brothers and sisters, uncles and aunties, grandfathers and grandmothers, and the children, and all the codes from the once was, and bring them back over through and clear the spaces in between, the space in between each other and the spaces in between the moments, and clear not just time, but help to cleanse the light through back into undistorted light from bringing the sacred locations and the sacred places over from places like Egypt and Africa and the United Kingdom, bringing that back into Atlantis and all the moments of Atlantis and all the spaces between, and bringing Atlantis and all the places in between back to Lemuria. And through all the moments of Lemuria, for me, in my recollection, there were 4 moments. And I am here in the 4th moment. I am from the 1st moment, but I've gathered all of those codes and all the distorted light and bringing it back up through Lemuria to the first light, to the first Lemuria, where the light is undistorted. You know, so it's a real big move, very big move.
Yeah, you know, my experience of listening to your experience is that, you know, my mental mind wants to wrap itself around it, but a part of me that is beyond the mind gets it. And I think that happens with a lot of us, that we get this memory, and that we get that we're here for this time. And so it's almost like being in both worlds, different realities at the same time, or simply trying to hold the whole of it can be challenging. When you say that this is why you came, can you talk about when you realized that?
I wasn't really until my young adult life, but you know, in my as a child, you grow up around. We're raised around the sacredness, not necessarily spirituality. I'll say we are blanketed and covered in and just embraced in the sacredness from where I'm from. And that was always the most important essence in the lives of Maori people. That's still the most important essence in the lives of Maori people, is the sacredness. From, you know, through that you can understand the spirituality. And so that sacredness was entered into my life at a very young age. And you want to say awoken? Okay, I'm 7 years old. Awoken isn't really what it's a vocabulary to me, but understanding the sacredness around me, connecting to the sacredness around me, I understood that at a very young age. And not necessarily speaking the words of spirituality or, you know, light workers or healers and all these, and shamans. We don't speak shaman where I'm from, we speak tuhuna. So you don't hear the word shaman. There's no word like that, like in our vocabulary. It is tuhuna, which means the skill and the mastery of the sacredness, the mastery and the skill levels of the sacredness. So I grew up around that, to make me any better than anybody else. It's just, that's how I grew up. And then as I got to not even my full adult life, I mean, just even my teenage life, you know, running around and playing rugby, running around and kicking a ball, and attempting not to be, you know, obstructed and not to be interfered with. I won't say trying to dodge a tackle. Well, that's true. But the movement, these movements are sacred to us. It's an attempt and an action to not be touched by, you know, something that you don't want to be touched by any kind of distortion, by any kind of intention that you just don't want to be touched by. So you would navigate this game, this not just a game, this sacredness. You sit the ball, you put on some equipment and you start running around and you try to dodge everybody and everything. To me, that was the sacredness of understanding how I could see above and below and above, beside and in under and around and from the inside and from the outside. That's what this game, this sacredness taught us, a multidimensionalism of things. And we learned that at a young age, hence 200 years as the best in the world at that sport. But we don't play rugby. People think we played rugby. People think we were playing a sport. We weren't playing a sport. We were just playing with you. we were just playing. And that's how we played, by playing in these multidimensional understandings as a young child. We grew up this way. And is there fear? Did the parents have fear that you know, I was going to be obstructed or blocked or stopped or tackled or hurt? No. There was no fear. There still is no fear of that. Grew up that way. So my life was a multidimensional life. Most Maori, this is how we grow up. This is how it's not how we're raised. As per se, our environment is blanketed in sacredness. And that doesn't mean we are coddled or we are embraced in the way that you let your child get hurt or get run over or by playing sports or getting a bloody nose or a black eye. That was just another part of the navigation as a young child. I had black eyes when I was 8, 7 and 8. A black eye, well, younger actually, but and so how does that translate into what you're talking about? And it really gave me some powerful lessons in my later life, my adult life, and to seeing and listening and hearing and understanding what was going on around me. Didn't matter whether I was in New Zealand or in another country. Yeah, being very aware. So it's not so much about being awake, it's being aware. And if children are tutored and embraced this way to become aware from a very young age, not to be coddled, not to be smothered, but to be, of course, to pay attention. It's up to every parent. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just sharing. This is my upbringing. I grew up in the sacredness. That to me, to us, that was the sacredness, but also the learning of our own power and strength, our own limitations at a young age. At the age of 11, knowing a certain level of my limitations to understand where fear enters into my field and when it doesn't, and if I don't want it to, or if I want to move it out of the way. That's learned at a very young age. That's not the case today. That's not the judgment on the parents. You can go and play soccer. But what I'm saying is that prepared me. None of my later life, like when I did become initiated as Huna, then the missions became very clear, and more clear every time I went into mission to do healing and cleansing work, as the tools became very apparent, and my connection to the multidimensional world became very apparent, very clear. And to me today, I'm still just playing. This is just how I play. Am I serious joy? You bet. Is it fun? And I'm playing with a lot of joy. With a lot of joy right now, right? We're playing. Is it a path? Is it a walk? Yeah, fine. It's it's okay. Run this way. Run that way. Walk that way. You want to walk this way. Walk like an Egyptian. Fine. I just want you to have joy. The children are learning the sacredness at a very young age. They become very powerfully protected in their own power in their teenage life and all the way, well, not all the way, but there's a good, strong foundation for them. Does it mean they're going to stay out of jail? No. Doesn't mean they're going to be in jail either. Does it mean they're going to hurt somebody? No. Doesn't mean they're not going to hurt somebody. And either way, they will have access to themselves and into their inner self in a very powerful way. You know, I was age 7 when I was connecting to the sacredness around me, and they were in the form of giants in the giant star nation. And they were speaking to me, and they're in my lineage. So I understood that from the sharing from my elders and my teachers, that's in your lineage. They're not alien to you, they are you, and you are part of that. So this is in your line, even at the young age of 7 and 8, they're telling me this. Oh, that's great, I'm a giant? Yeah, I want to know more. I think I'll get on a rugby field and I'll play like a giant. And we did, and we do, and they still do. This is Lemuria, and we do. And, you know, what became known in my later years, in my adult life, is an incredible decision and an incredible mission and an incredible vision. And the incredible vision came at age 22, almost 22. And I followed that vision, and the elders encouraged that vision. And that's what leads me here today. And through the work that has been done, which is really the foundation of who I am, what I've become. The legacy, the foundation of it, and everything I espouse and share is based upon that foundation of that walk. Gave so much clarity, you know, understanding your limits and learning your limitations. It allows you to focus. It allows you to have clarity and allows you to cut through and navigate through the field of all these different players on the field in front of you, behind you, and around you, and below you, and above you. I'm not saying you're in a bubble. You probably can create the bubble, the Merkaba bubble. You can create the star bubble. You can be a 1-star chakra. You can be that. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. 7 chakras, 1 chakra. Yes, I can. Yes, I did. Yes, I have. Yes, we can. Yes, we have. And when a child says, yes, I can, boy, that's like, I get an 11-year-old saying, hey, do you think you can get on that rugby field and go and take that guy's position? Yes, I can. And that was always the answer. And anybody said, this is an example, right? This is an example. Are you ready to go on there? Yes, I am. Put me in there. That's a powerful statement from a young child in any context. And that word is coming through now, by the way. It's been coming through. The child is now sharing that word, the word of the child. Yes, I can. And I'm not saying it's just regarding the we can. That's not what I'm saying. When a child says, yes, I can, he's saying that we all can.
Yeah.
If I can do it, we can all do it. Come on, let's get in there. And that's what the child is saying. That's what I'm hearing. Are you hearing that? If you're beyond yourself and get past your own self, but can you hear that? Past your limitations and hear that. Or jump in there and let's go all play this and then have this joy and this fun together. And perhaps you will start hearing. Make a step, take the step. If you're unsure, take the step anyway. If you're sure, take the step anyway.
Yeah.
You're going to get a word from somebody, or you're going to speak the word. Know it. And the child is coming through that. He knows it these days. Today, are you kidding me? In this day and age, are you kidding me? You seen the 3-year-olds and the 5-year-olds and the things that they can do? They beat me hands down. Half the things that they, okay, I could play running around on a rugby field with a ball and go here and go there, and you can't catch me. You didn't touch me. You can't tackle me. Too late. I already made a score. These children today, I go far beyond that. Yes, I can. You know, was somebody sharing that in the atmosphere when they passed from one life to the next, coming back in again, and they arrived there, and it's like, yeah, I remember somebody telling me that on my way out, and I'm now on my back in again. Yes, I can. That's very powerful. We want to share that with the children.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that in my own kids.
Okay, put it in the context, do the best you can. All right. You be very, as a parent, I suppose, be very aware. But and most are, again, allow them to go beyond themselves, allow them to push themselves, and give them the blanket of sacredness, because
Can you speak
this will allow them to remain.
How do we do that?
Oh, tell them who they are. Do you know who they are?
That's a good question.
Tell them who they are. If you don't find out, you don't know in this lifetime, in your next lifetime, come back and tell them who they are.
Yeah.
You'll be the child. You'll be the child telling them who you are. And that just happened, by the way. It's amazing. But even now, do the best you can as adults to tell the children who they are. Be truthful. We're not human. We're beyond human.
Yeah.
But we are in the human spirit. When you ask me, where are you? I'm in my skin. That's what I mean. I'm a lot more. For myself, I'm much more than that, and all of you are. Okay? To be honest about this. Get in alignment. What alignment? Well, you know, we're talking about operating systems and the agendas and the interferences. Get beyond the interferences and begin to start getting clarity in this, I call the divine rotation. This alignment. You get into this divine rotation and the alignment to the super nature of the super intelligence, you begin to have more clarity. It's not so much a veil, it's a spiral that's getting back into phase again. You're coming back into phase. Right? You're going from out of phase to back in phase. When that phase aligns, when those fractals align in the geometry, you start seeing things clearly. Get yourself in that position to do so. Is there anybody helping you? There's probably some people that can help you. There are now so much online to connect you to help you on that pathway. But have this in mind. Have this in mind. You know, tell the child who the child is. And for you to do that, you have to know who the child is. It means you have to know who you are. There's some effort here, and even that discovery is so much fun.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Right.
What are you gonna do? You gotta go to the places and find out, right? Everyone's going to the sacred sites and everyone, that's great. Now go to some places that you haven't been, you just might discover something else, you know. Like you do in your meditations, you do in your morning rituals and your morning moments, or evening moments, or whenever you have your moment. I offer that in the calendar that there's a moment for you to have, and it's right there. If you'd like to have this moment or that moment, it's not even about time. It's just about having these moments, and these moments have so much light in them. Here's a moment of light. Try this moment. Here's a moment of no light, but it's got a light in it, even though there's no light in it. That's kind of weird, isn't it? Go and find out. What does it taste like? Did I just go all over the place with everything on you? I went multi-dimensional.
It's perfect.
And what was it? My mission? Well, for me, after I was initiated and after I made clarity of the vision at 20, from 21 to 22, I learned the modalities and the initiations and the recitals I had to learn to call them back to the elders, to repeat them back to the elders, to do the practical protocols and show them and my testings and them, you know, with their assessments of me. And then I was ready to go off and do some things. It started very small with a few small protocols, but those few protocols, they got me out of so much trouble. They got not so much trouble, they got me out of, they got me out of some pretty tight situations concerning hounds from hell and all these kinds of names. Yeah. The hounds was chasing me around, and I figured, what am I running for? I turned around and I had another protocol, then it started running from me. And I was chasing it for 2 weeks. I was chasing this hound from hell, chasing it around all over the place with some water, some crystals, and some powerful codes to speak from the Muria. And hey, I'm a rugby player. I'm going to come and get you. You know, as that brought up with my child. Right? And the sacredness was all over me. I was like, this thing turned around and was running away. But as I began to do all of these purification work and these healings of the land, the water, the sky, and the self and the home, for a number of years, you know, a couple of decades went by pretty fast. And then the big mission came, the switch up came from doing the healing work for the people to do the healing work for the land, water, and the sky, and the understanding what that was in terms of my walk and my next level of missions. And so I became, you know, so I received the understanding to activate the new birth sign grids for Lemuria, for the new earth, what they looked like, what they sounded like. Allowed them to speak to me, allowed me to go and have faith and have trust in all of those wonderful sacred understandings, and then to have the sacredness and to just go. I already had the sacredness, so there's no problem. Hey, this is a lot of fun. I'm going to keep doing this. I wonder if anybody's watching. No, nobody's watching. Okay, that's fine. I wonder if they're watching now. Hey, there's a few people watching now. Ah. And the tools and the understandings and the wisdom and the knowledge came through from the practicality of it all. And I am still a child. I ride around on an orange colored bicycle, drinking a green drink. I'm 11. 5 and 6.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love like everything you're speaking to is so, I want to just like integrate this a little bit for the parents, because a lot of parents come to me and work with me because they want to figure out soul purpose. They want to figure out that mission. But what you're speaking to is that stepping into the awareness of our multidimensionality and what needs to be known up here, we get to let go of it and hold this container for ourselves, for our kids, and they're going to figure that out. They're going to take the first step, and then the next step's going to reveal itself, and the next insight's going to guide them here and here. And we don't have to actually know what our kids' purpose is or mission is. That's their path, right? And holding that sacred trust that there is something much bigger than beyond the senses, much more than meets the eye here, with this child, with myself, with what we're doing here. And even just sitting in that and holding that, so much unfurls and comes to light as you speak it.
Yeah, give them back their power. Take it away from them.
Their freedom.
Yeah, and their freedom. And you know, they just might remember stuff. And in a certain way, you may be blocking their memory by, not allowing the sacredness. So even now, we have this wonderful practice that I know I've done some of this with children before and the parents, and they loved it. It was a youth masters protocol, so the children can learn to gift sacredness to the land, to the tree, to land, water, sky, and then have joy as a group, and then just do this practice, and it will stick with them. And that is most of the time, you take your children to the camps for nature, and out to the summer camp. There's a protocol I've been sharing that you can say, okay, say to the children, okay, let's make this place magic, but we've got to do this sacred magic game first. So here's some water. Let's stand in a circle around a tree. Here's some sacred magic water, blessed water, and here's a little stone, crystal, obsidian. Let's just say it's obsidian or crystal, whatever. Give them a colored stone, and then share to them. Let's gift this water to the tree and say some good words. We have to say good words first. So give them some good words. Say these good words. Maybe there's a leader in that little group who will say, I know the words. And somebody goes, I don't know the words. So somebody will share the words. Hey, you got the words? Yes, we got the words. Okay, now run and give the water to the tree. Yes, okay. Now bury the crystal in the ground at the base of the tree. Yes. Now put your nose against the tree and give the tree a big hug with your nose. That's not ring around the posies. It's not a nursery rhyme. It's sacredness. And you say to them, hey, you brought back the magic, the sacred to the forest, now we can go and play. It don't take a couple of minutes to do something like that. And bring the children together, and you'll discover some things about the children, who's in there. That's just a natural born leader without having to run around on a rugby field and do all of that. Yeah, there might be some bossy ones in there. You might create a couple of beastie giants out of all of it, but so what? So what? Keep them all going into the sacredness. Keep empowering giving their power back to them. If they ever lost it in the first place, they have the knowledge and the wisdom, but the sacredness must be reminded, because this is a wisdom thing. And they need that wisdom as they get into the ages where they are susceptible to suicide and taking themselves out. And we know that's happening and has been happening.
Yeah.
So I shared that with some families a while back, some years ago in Oakland, California, and they were asking to bless some land. And so I said, bring the children with you while you're at it. Let's all go. I've got something that we can do. This is going to be fun. And it was fun. And I had these crystal grains like sand, but they're quartz crystal, so fine. I said, here, take this, like it's not salt, but just take it and do a big circle around the tree. And then we're going to do this with the water, and then we're going to do it. We're going to run to the tree, and we're going to press our nose on it. Children loved it. Of course, you only have a couple of minutes with their attention span, all right? So, yeah, get it done. Just put them in a wonderful tribe, soul tribe together, and creating the soul tribe. Yeah. What do you got to lose?
We love it. We love it. My experience with kids creating adventures like this is they will absolutely love it. I'm really looking forward to bringing that practice. You shared it with me in a class, and I'm really looking forward to bringing that practice out with my next opportunity with kids in my area and kids that I meet on my travels. Magic.
It's full-on sacredness.
Yeah.
Children have a powerful heart. And their light has no fear. Yes, be their sacred guardian. Yes, the best you can throughout your whole life, even if even sometimes it's only for a short time of your life that you have a moment with them, for whatever reason.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't know.
Whatever goes through, whatever parents go through, for whatever reason, at that moment will last forever.
Yeah. So I have a 15-year-old who is, this is my home practice, is being with him. And he has been such a mirror of magic to me, and such a mirror of being in his power and being in his freedom. And it has helped so much that he has stepped out of the traditional educational boxes. And I know for a lot of kids, that's a big piece of knowing themselves and being able to embody this magic and freedom. Can you speak to like encouragement for parents of how to navigate the education and the learning and the options?
Here's a thing, an understanding. Lose your mind, but use your brain.
Lose your mind, but use your brain.
We lost our minds a long time ago. It's not even in our head. Our mind is in our consciousness, but the brain, it's not a matter of being in the mind. The consciousness can be separate from using the brain. And the brain doesn't control everything. It does operate the system, gives you science and calculations and understanding. Allow that. And so, 15 years old, this is a very tough age when there hasn't been the sacredness, right? Just it's like you got to pull them back in, yeah? You got to get them out there. You've got to get them with the others. You've got to find these tribes that they also belong to.
Yeah.
You still got to keep telling them who they are. You still got to try to share and know who they are. You still got to bring that power to them, no matter 15 or 7 or 10, or even 33 or 44. Continue to keep bringing that power back to them. And so education is like, really, remember what the system, just go back a little bit and remember what the system was about. And this is on video, about the educators who created the system to dumb everybody down. It wasn't to educate you. The system was developed so that they could, well, I don't have to say it. So a new system for the children is required, a new earth. There's a new birth sign. Did you tell them they have a new birth sign? Did you tell them this is a new earth? Did you tell them the differences of what's happening between one operating system that's changing out and another one that's coming? You can tell them all of these wonderful, raising the vibration. Say to the child, raise your vibration. Come on, you got to raise the child's vibration, not just tell them to raise the vibration. You don't tell somebody to wake up. Don't tell them to wake up. Wake them up. That's what I grew up with, and that's the sacredness. They didn't say, "Hey, come on, you wake up." They didn't say. They woke me up. For the child, this child, and his age group, and education is back in the home. I'm afraid education and technology is bringing everything back into the home. I'm afraid. The highest form of technology is available today. It doesn't require the learning that it took for us to go to school and then don't even learn it. Then they hide it from you. Because the technology that's coming out today is being exposed for the children to go and play with. Now there's some schools going on around the world called the Green School, Kura Karera, Green School. It's nothing new. All the tribes have these kinds of teachings in their homes, in their forced environments in the reservation. Challenged, of course, challenges, but they were there all along. And even in my communities or our tribal areas, We have all of that, and now, well, yeah, we go diving in the ocean to get the seafood, go into forest and gather the food, give thanks for the food and being offered, and start at those sacred places, and then bring them the technology that's available today that was hidden from us, from our generations, that's now being exposed, because it will teach them, it will give them the education by using it. They'll learn what electromagnetics is and how available it is, and how incredible it is just to have this operating to power your house. Where it took us, we had to go to electrical engineering school to learn all about wires and things we didn't want to learn about. And this stuff is like whack. For some, it was great, for not all of us. But let me just say, I can tell you that many of those engineers today are like amazing. The technology was hidden from them, though they could create and invent, but technology was even being hidden from them, and they're some of the best in the world. And now they've gotten so far ahead just by the creations coming out and being exposed. We need to expose the children to the higher end of our technology, energy, teach them vibration, energy, frequency, magnetics, and it's not just for healing, but they will become powerful healers as they share everything for everyone, everywhere, every day, and they get to understand what that means. It means there's little need for anything. What's education for? What is education for? Are they going to go and work in a corporation? Is it even going to be corporations anymore? No, not the way they were. And then they probably call it a whole different thing now. We're just, yeah. I don't know what the names would be for these companies. They're no longer going to be like corporations that are taking everything over. They're going to become like, they should become like classrooms. Mm-hmm. Everything that they have to give to the children. This is where the children are getting their stuff on and getting their hands-on experience in corporate world. They just give it to them. They don't need any money. The corporate world doesn't need any money anymore in the global reset. That's all coming. What do you need a corporation for? Let everybody just create and invent. Use those buildings as free classrooms. Hey, look what we just discovered. Electromagnetics. You want to play with this? Okay, be careful. Like, we're watching you, but okay, here's this. And then, oh, you're tired? Go home then. Oh, you're hungry? Go and eat. You want to go swim in the ocean? Oh, go ahead, swim in the ocean. That's education. Multi-dimensional. Hey, send them around the world. Go to places all around the world. Learn about the world. Travel at the youngest age possible. That's it. Put all your efforts into the global reset. Money is coming. It is coming. Some of it's already here and it's starting to move. Fund, get all, put together the program and then fund everybody to just go everywhere and have a holiday. That's education. That's an education that was denied some of us. Well, a lot of us. Yeah. Right. Will it have a degree? Will it have a PhD? Will it have a master's? Who needs that? One time this doctor with like 5 PhDs said, hey, I've got all these PhDs and all these degrees next to these numbers and letters next to my name. And after all these years, I still don't know what I'm doing. With all of this, there's still something missing in my reality. And they were told, well, Huna said to me one time, he said, I didn't finish high school. I went back to school later, but I revealed that, I don't have those degrees next to my name. I have dimensions next to my name. Dimensions. 2, 3, 4, 5, 20, 24, whatever. Mm. I have dimensions next to my name. And for me, the multiple dimensions is the education. Those are the degrees you need next to your name, I feel. And that's where we're going. The children are multidimensional, you understand? Oh, your child just got a new dimension. Wow. Dimension 18, 18th dimension. Wow, that's incredible. Now think about that for a second. Because if you're saying that the 5D is the way we're going, to me, 5D is just waking up. If you're going to talk about 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, now we're actually doing some stuff. freedom and liberation and opportunity. Now go to the higher dimensions. We're actually giving everything to everybody. Now we're really doing stuff. And if your child is in the 18th dimension and doing the work there, it means your child is giving everything to everybody. If your child is in the 5th dimension, your child's awake. Now what? Okay, get them to the next few dimensions. That's the classroom.
Yeah, you know, as you're speaking of all these things to offer our children or to hold space for them to step into, my son, my 15-year-old, I only speak of him because I think he is similar to many, many kids, but he is so hungry for all this. He is so eager to travel. He's running up to my space right now. He's so eager to learn everything. Do you want to come, babe? He you know, he woke up 2 nights ago and he said, "Mom, I want to be a druid." You know, like he anything is possible.
Hey, I was just talking to someone this morning.
That's right. So I hope that he and I can join you in your mission travels, because he's been talking about visiting sacred sites for the last 1.5 years, and that's what's really pushing us to shift our life to allow for that travel. So as parents, I think our kids are here to like blow all of these boxes open. You've just blown all the boxes open, you know, for us, Huna Flash, to consider it. So thank you for that. And we've been here for a while now, so I just want to honor everybody's time and thank everybody for joining us. And Huna Flash, is there any last message that wants to be shared?
Wow, there's a lot of messages. One last message. Let's gather in the fractal. Let's gather into the blueprint. Go beyond the Metatron, go beyond the geometries of many geometries and go back to the blueprint, go back to the fractal, go back to the tetrahedron. The tetrahedron is where it begins, where life begins, like life. Go back and stand in that. That's the temple. Is it God? I don't have to say God. Is it source? I don't even have to say that. I'm just sharing with you. My last words, go back to the fractal, go back to the tetrahedron, go back to the primary, go back to that. That is the birth of life and light. I won't say beginning because it's always beginning. But go to the fractal and start working from the fractal geometry. Learn that. We have a new home coming soon next year in New Mexico, in Corona, New Mexico. Get that? Corona, New Mexico. And it's in the door of the child. It is the first birth sign, access to the birth sign of the Huna Motu that I activated, and I said I will do this part of my mission. It was the first one over 10 years ago. And it's calling me back there to New Mexico from old Mexico. I'm going back to the door of the child and I'm creating the temple of the fractal, which we call the House of Huna and the new school. And it's going to be a very big tetrahedron building, just straight up tetrahedron, no windows, just straight up tetrahedron, everything be incredible inside of it. I'm going back to the primary, I'm going back to the fractal. And I'll work from there and go into multiple dimensions from there, into all geometries from there. Go back to that blueprint. This is Lemuria. And while you're at that, you will align yourself to the rotation of this planet, which is a divine rotation of counterclockwise. Align to the seasons where they actually begin, and they actually begin in light time in New Zealand and go all the way around and come back again. It's okay if it's summer in your part of June, it still begins at that moment and comes around every single day for the last 600 million years. That is Lemuria. So come back to the fractal, the blueprint. We're going to reset light to undistorted light, and that's what it will do.
Here's to that. Thank you. We'll meet you there.
What is your Huna? Huna?
Huna Kumara.
Huna Kamama.
Kamura. Yep.
Thank you, Huna.
Thank you. Can you tell us your full Huna name?
Huna Mauta Kamara Taki Nimarana. In short, you can say Huna Taki or you can say Huna Flash.
Thank you, Hunaki.
Thank you, dear ones. Thank you, beloved.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you, Huna. Love
Thank
you.
you, Huna. Appreciate that. That was deep. That was wise. So grateful.
That was fun.
That was fun. I'd love to do it again sometime.
We'll have more joy.
Well, take care. Bye for now.
Bye.